Go ahead and get started. Thank you for joining me for the Week 9 State of the League address for the Twitch Blood Bowl League. This week we will be looking at all of the divisions as usual. We'll be talking about playoff contenders, people that are qualifying for the playoffs, people who look like they just missed it, despite being favorites all season long. We will also do a game of the week, which I am open to suggestions for. We'll talk about the contenders for the US and the EU Stunty Cup, and the overall Stunty Emperor. My team has qualified for that. I'll talk more about that later. Fortunately, there wasn't a lot of competition in the US. We only had 3 Stunty teams, but let's get started. So we're going to, as usual, start going through the different divisions. We'll start in Europe with Europe Group A. Looking at the leaderboard, we've got Kubusta's 6-2-0 Lizards. Looks like they have it locked because Masu played his 9th game already, which means he's not getting any better. So Kubusta is officially going to be the playoff qualifier from Europe Group A. Hanachi was leading most of the way, but his Amazons kind of fell off late in the season, as Amazons kind of tend to do as the other teams start to develop and get tackle. He was leading most of the way and just kind of fell back as the season went on. Let's have a look at the Lizards. This will be your Europe Group A qualifiers for the playoffs. Strength up Skink. He's had that Skink pretty much all along. Movement up Skink is new. I don't believe he had that last time we looked at his team. 3 of them with sidestep. He's got a catch Skink. His diving tackle Skink will be missing his last game of the regular season, which doesn't actually matter. He will qualify, win, lose, or draw in that last game. 2 of his sources have block, and his Roxazor has stand firm. Let's see if these are just MNGs or if they're niggles or anything. Just an MNG on the Saurus. Just an MNG on the Skink. Let's see if he's playing a particularly violent last opponent or if he's probably going to get into the playoffs fairly unscathed. Oh, he is playing, I believe it's Crow Dog's Nurgle, I believe. Crow Dog may put a hurt on him before the playoffs. Crow Dog's Nurgle team is getting to be fairly strong. 1 Claw Mighty Blow Pestigore, Lodge Pestigore, Block Pestigore. 2 block Warriors, Strength Up Rotter. So he could do some damage to the Lizards before they get to go to the playoffs, but it is confirmed at this point. Kubusta's Lizards are going to be the qualifiers from Group A. Looking at the table as a whole, Wolfskin's team came on late, actually. I do want to give a shout out to Wolfskin for hanging in there. He had a really rough start on these orcs, and he came on late in the season and played very, very well. Which doesn't surprise me. Wolfskin's a very good coach. But I was surprised to see how poorly these orcs were doing early on, but they came on late, and he turned out to have a pretty decent season. As far as qualifiers, let me pull that up so I don't misinform anybody on anything. But I will pull up the format so we can talk about who it looks like from Group A would be going to Emperor, who would be going to Lords, and who would be going to Knights. Where is that at? Ah, here we go. Here we go. Alright, so in Europe, the top... Okay, that's playoffs. I don't want top playoffs. I want... No, that is what I want. Okay, so the top 2 teams from each division. So people still have something to play for, even if they're not winning the division. You're trying to lock your spot into Emperor, Lords, or Knights next season. If anybody is new to the Twitch Blood Bowl League format, it is a 3-tiered system. You have your Emperor division, which is going to be your top 10 teams. That's what the point of the season was. It was a seeding season. The next tier, you're going to have your Lords, and this is still going to be divided into Europe and US next season. And then you have however many divisions of the bottom tier, which is Knights. That's for people that reroll and want to drop down. That's for new coaches coming in, and that's for people who didn't do as well this season during the seeding season. and you as a coach hold your position in whatever tier. So even if you reroll a team but you're in Lords, you can stay in Lords if you'd like. Although I think most people would prefer to drop back down to Knights, just so that you're playing more reasonable competition with your fresh TV 1000 team. But that would be up to the coach. So if we look at this, the top 2 teams, Bisu has played his 9th game, so that record's not getting any better. Hanachi's played his 9th game, so that's not getting any better. Theoretically, nope, Wolfskin's played his last game. Crow Dog could pick up a win here. Oh, actually, if Crow Dog wins his last game, he would have... Why does he... No, I'm not paying attention. But if Crow Dog wins his last game, he would have the same record as the Skaven. Who won their head-to-head match? Crow Dog could finish second if he wins that game. And as I said, Kuwesta doesn't have a lot to play for. Let's have a look at Crow Dog's Nurgle. Let's see if they beat the Skaven when they played them earlier in the season. No, they lost. Okay, so the Masu's Rats have the tiebreaker there. Okay, so even if he wins that game, Masu will have the tiebreaker. So the top 2 positions in this division are locked. So the automatic qualifiers for Emperor next season are Kuwesta and Masu. That's guaranteed at this point. You're still fighting because the 2 best 3rd place finishers are going to also qualify for Emperors. So you still want to put your best foot forward this last week if you haven't played yet. Which is mostly Crow Dog, most of the teams in this division. Oh no, there's a few that still haven't played. And then going from there, the people that would go into Lords would be the other 2 3rd place finishers that weren't the top 2, and teams that finished 4th and 5th. So that's going to be people in this region here. So those are your likely candidates to go into Lords next season. Alright, so that's enough for Group A. Let's have a look at Europe Group B. Going to the leaderboard. Mad Frog, I believe, has locked it up at this point. Let me double check, but I believe he beat Anchor in their head-to-head earlier in the season. Yes. Okay, so Mad Frog beats Anchor's Amazons earlier in the season, so he has the head-to-head tiebreaker. So even if he loses this game, he will have the tiebreaker, which will put him ahead of Anchor. So nobody else can catch him at this point. So Mad Frog will be your playoff qualifier from Group B, guaranteed at this point. Anchor has, I believe, locked up second. Yes. Anchor has guaranteed himself 2nd place. So Anchor, at the very least, will be qualifying for Emperor next season. Yep, nobody else is going to catch him there. Let's have a look at the Orc team that's likely headed to the playoffs. That is headed to the playoffs, I should say. Oh, that's a good Orc. Plus agility, plus movement. Blitzer, guard blitzer, tackle blitzer, mighty blow. Wow, he is a fast Orc team. He's got 2 movement 7s. And he's got this thrower, which I will still shake my head at. 2 of the Black Orcs with block. He is missing a Black Orc for his last game this season. Let's see if he's playing anybody who might rough him up before his playoff. When the Elf comes around, that would be... Oh, that would be Grumpy / the coach's Dark Elves. Hey, Carlos. Does have a Mighty Blow. I mean, it's possible he does some damage. Mighty Blow, tackle. Guard blitzer. He's got nice development on his blitzers. But I would imagine, especially since he's going to have, looks like 4 loners for the match, the Orc should be able to handle that, come out of that fairly unscathed. So I would guess he'll be okay heading into the playoffs. He'll get his Black Orc back. So, yep. That one's pretty simple. Mad Frog is going to qualify for the playoffs. Mad Frog and Anchor have both guaranteed themselves spots at Emperors next season. The complicated one, and I'm not even going to try and guess, is who's going to be the top 2 third-place finishers to also get into Emperor. 5, 2, and 2 is pretty solid. You got 17 points there. We go back to Group A. Probable third-place finishers. You've got 16 points here. So that's not going to make it. Well, that could make it. I mean, that might be second best. You've got 16 points with Wolfskin. So those are both 16 points. All right, let's have a look at Group C. Actually, you know what? We should show Anchor's team since we were talking about him qualifying for Emperor. Let's have a look at how his Amazons look. They have played their last game of the season? Yes. So this is their final roster heading into next season for Emperors. It's possible they'll be playing in the playoffs, and if they do, then this could change slightly. But if they don't qualify for the playoffs, this will be their off-season team. Movement up blitzer, guard blitzer, sidestep blitzer, block catcher who's missing next game, block sure hands block on a thrower, wrestle tackle linewoman. I like the development. Interesting Dauntless there. Never really thought about it, taking Dauntless on a linewoman. I think I would rather have Dauntless on a wrestle player though. But I had this argument with Shattered in my stream last night. Hey, Mad Frog, how's it going? I just talked about I'm talking about your division now, Mad Frog. You have locked up your playoff spot. I don't know if you were aware, but you are guaranteed to qualify at this point for the playoffs. I was having this argument with Shattered on my stream last night because he has a block Dauntless gutter runner. And I want Dauntless on my wrestle players. I don't want it on my block players all that much. I guess early on, low TV, when the other teams possibly don't have block on their ball carriers, it's maybe useful, but as soon as they do... and then he's got a kicker wrestle. So decent team development. I'd like to see some more level ups on the blitzers. He's got a lot of SPP in these other places. Yep, we're looking at your division now. Yeah, you are guaranteed, even if you lose your game this week, because you would tie with Anchor at that point, and you beat Anchor earlier in the season, so you have the tiebreaker. So those are your two Emperor teams and your playoff qualifier. As I said, the teams a little bit lower, these teams that are fighting for third place, could potentially also get themselves an Emperor if they have one of the top two third place records. All right, let's have a look at Europe Group C. This one's a bit fuzzier. Okay, so we've got those teams have both played all their matches. They've played all their matches. This Chaos Squad still has a match to play. Could make it a three-way tie at the top. They are playing against the Spirits of Styganor, which is... I'm not even going to try and say his name. Playing against these Amazons, 1040 TV versus 1340 TV. If he wins that game, we could have a three-way tie for first place here, which would make things very complicated. Because then I guess... I don't know how that works with a three-way tie, because do you just go by touchdown differential rather than head-to-head? Well, let's first look at... Let's assume, just for the sake of argument, he gets a tie or worse. So we'll look at the Dwarf and the Chaos Dwarf squad and see what their head-to-head was, because they are both done for the season. Oh, they tied. Okay, so that doesn't help either. So you're looking at touchdown differential, I believe. After head-to-head, it's touchdown differential, and then... let's see. Cerebral just posted about this the other day. Let me look. Where did he put that? I don't know where he posted that. Ah, there we go. Touchdown differential, then Kaz differential, then a coin flip. So that will be... So they tied earlier in the season, so it's going to have to be touchdown differential regardless. So regardless of if the... Now the Chaos Squad beat the Wandering Widowmakers. Let's see if he beat that Chaos Dwarf squad earlier in the season. And he's got a level up to roll still. He did. Actually, so I believe... I mean, he's got a head-to-head win against both of them. So... if he wins his last game against the Amazons, I believe he should be the playoff squad. If he gets a draw, then he's out. So that will be interesting to see. That'd be a good game to watch. Let's have a look at those three teams. So the Wandering Riddlemakers, this dwarf team is really, really getting well developed. You've got... That's just disgusting. 6 guard, 3 of them with Mighty Blow on the Longbeards. He's got a Blodge Blitzer and a Mighty Blow Blitzer. He's got Dodge Agility up on his Runner, so he just needs 1 more level for block. And he's got Mighty Blow and Strength up on his Troll Slayer. Needs another Troll Slayer. Maybe one died or he didn't ever have one. I'm not sure which. But this dwarf team is really solid. And then the Chaos Dwarf squad, the other team currently tied for first place, has 5 guard on his dwarfs and 1 Mighty Blow. No claw yet. He's got a Minnow. Interesting decision on a Chaos Dwarf squad. Sure Hands Hobgoblin, Dirty Player Hobgoblin, Block Bull Centaur. Must have lost a Bull Centaur, because I don't remember him having this undeveloped. Yeah, I don't like this team at all. He must have had some death, and he's got way too deep of a bench. I know you want to foul and all, but that's way too deep of a bench. I don't like this build from J Sentinel. I'm guessing a bull. I think he had a good bull. Was he the one that had the plus strength plus movement bull? Did that bull die? Oh, that's terrible. He had a really good bull, I think, unless it's somebody else I'm thinking of. He played goblins this week. Did it go terribly for him? He had 3 casualties. Oh, that was Manus Atra. Okay. So he wasn't the one with the crazy bull. Okay. Never mind then. I don't know, but he had to have a dead bull. There's no way you've played 9 games and have a 0 SPP bull centaur. So he had a bull die at some point. Let's have a look at the Chaos Squad. So if this team wins this week, I believe, because they've got the head-to-head tiebreaker against both of the other teams they'd be tied with, they should be qualifying for the playoffs. You got a Mighty Blow Beastman, then he's not leveled up. He's got a Tackle First Skill Beastman. That was probably a matchup-specific decision, I would imagine. Block Mighty Blow Warrior, Block Warrior, Guard Warrior, Blodge Beastman. Solid team. Nothing crazy yet. No dedicated killer as of yet. Normally you wouldn't take Tackle First Skill on a Beastman, but I'm guessing he was playing, I don't know, Amazons or even the Goblin squad or something and wanted just a tackle on the squad, so totally reasonable decision to take 1 tackle when you didn't have any. You take it on whatever player just leveled up. So that is Group C. It's hard to say even for sure who's going to qualify for Emperor, although I will say that likely if he wins that game and you end up with this 3-way tie, there's going to be 19 points between all of them, so all 3 of them are probably going to qualify for Emperor next year because 19 points is going to be one of the top 2 third-place records. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. So most likely, if he wins that game, he'll win the division and go to the playoffs, and probably all 3 teams are going to qualify for Emperors next season. All right, let's go ahead and have a look at Europe Group D. Mr. Mo lost this week. I've been putting faith in the Khemri mostly because I just thought it was awesome that a Khemri team was doing so well. But he did lose last week, so that dropped him down a fair bit. Most of this league, it looks like, none of this league has played any of their matches yet this week, so still a lot to be decided here. Shawnee, late season run. Who's he playing this week? So this will be an interesting last week. All right, so Fists of Orca, which is tied for first place, is playing against the Polkai Panthers, which is the Pro Elf squad that's in 4th place. Shawnee's Chaos, fun for the whole league, is playing against an Orc squad, Toby Jugs. Pylon's Orcs, who are in 6th place currently. And then the other team that's right up there, which is the Khemri squad, is playing against the Dark Crag Outcasts, which have had a really rough season. Stovehounds, Dark Elves. my betting money would be on Shawnee at this point because Shawnee's actually 5-2-0. That was an inherited loss, so he's played exceptional this season, as Shawnee usually does. Let's have a look at their 3 teams though, and see how they're looking. Shawnee's Chaos team up to 1430 TV. Blodge tackle. Assume is ball carrier, but tackle's nice for when you gotta blitz off somebody, I suppose. His killer's developing. Mighty Blow and Claw. Needs tackle on him next, I would imagine. Block Beastman. Movement up Beastman. Block Beastman. He's got 3 out of the 4 Chaos Warriors blocked up. So, decent team development. Nothing too crazy yet. No amazing stat ups. The movement up Beastman's nice, but... Fists of Orca. The other team currently tied for first place. Oh yeah, he's got the movement 8 blitzer who has leveled up and of course hasn't rolled it. How am I going to talk about it if you don't roll it? He's got a tackle Mighty Blow blitzer. He's got a Mighty Blow piling on blitzer. So he's got 2 sort of dedicated killing blitzers so far. I actually like that idea because it varies. This is for your killing stunties. This is for killing anything else. Well, stunties and dodge players in general. I don't like guard first on the Black Orcs. I talked about this last time, so I'm not going to beat it to death, but I do not like guard first on the Black Orcs. I like block first. You can maybe do the first 2 block, and then maybe you take some guards, but I don't like going guard first on your only Black Orc level ups. I disagree with that strategy. And then the 3rd place team, the Kimmery. Does he still have that fairly fantastic Blitz Raw? Yes, he does. Strength up, Mighty Blow, Blitz Raw. Catchers are both, or catchers, Throw Raws are developing. Tomb Guardian's not really doing much. He's got a Mighty Blow Tomb Guardian, and that's about it. 30 player skeleton, block skeleton, so not a lot of development there. But if he wins this week, and the other 2 draw, let's see, that'd put them at 18, that'd put him at 19. So if he's still got a shot, if the Kimmery win this week, and both Shawnee's squad and Bobby Bentag's squad draw or lose, he would clinch the division. If either of them win, let's see what their head-to-head is. For the tiebreaker. Shawnee won. So if they end up tied, then Shawnee's got the tiebreaker. So that's likely. I would imagine Shawnee's going to be able to handle his match this week, and that's going to lock it up for him. Alright, that's the main playoff qualifiers. As far as who's going to qualify for Emperors, pretty much... it's still kind of up in the air here. Whoever wins, obviously, and then the 2nd place is up in the air because, as I said, if the Kimmery win, they'll leapfrog anybody who draws or loses out of these 2. And I don't know that if the 3rd place record is 5-2-2, I don't know if that'll be good enough to be in as one of the 3rd place wild cards to get into Emperors. All right, so now before we leave Europe, we've talked about the main playoffs. Let's have a look at the Stunty playoffs. The top 2 Stunty teams from Europe will go to the Stunty playoffs and will play a match against each other. The top 2 Stunty teams from the US will play each other. The winner of those will play the Europe champion, and the US champion will then play each other to decide the Stunty Emperor. So let's look at the Stunty squads. So we've got Goblin it all up, 0, 3, and 5. 3 points total. Probably not going to make it. We've got Ogre. Ceremonial's Ogres sit at 11 points. Very solid season for Stunties. So that's Group D's. So we've got Ceremonial's at 11. Looking at Europe Group C. Stunties. We got Goblin Gash having a very good Goblin season. He's at 9 points. We've also got Ben's Ogres. Hold on 1 second. apologies. We've also got Ben's Ogres right behind him at 8 points, although he is done for this season. It looks like he's played all 9 matches, and the Goblins have also played all 9 matches, so he's officially going to be ahead of him. So right now you're looking at Ceremal's Ogres against Itchin's Goblins. It's at 9 points. Let's look at Europe Group B. Europe Group B, we have high sodium content being the only stunty team, and he has not had a good season. Got 1 game left. He's got 1 point so far on the season. Did get a draw. I think I mentioned that last week. And then you've got Group A. We just have a Goblin squad who's got 3 points. So the stunty playoffs are decided for Europe at this point. It would be Ceremal's Ogres against Itchin Masak's Goblins will be the European stunty playoffs. Alright, that is all of Europe. If anybody watching live in the channel would like a shout out, would like to have their team looked at, I'd be happy to look at it. Let me know, but we are going to move on to the US division for now. Alright, US Group A. So now in the US divisions, because there's only 3 divisions and you need 4 playoff teams, the best record out of the second place teams will also qualify for the playoffs. Unlike Europe, where only the top team qualifies. So we'll be talking about that as we're looking at these. So US Group A, Sasa lost this week, unexpectedly in my opinion, to Wunderbar's, or no, it wasn't Wunderbar, it was Max Adams' Stark Elf squad. So kind of an unexpected loss for the Lizards, drops them to 7-0-2, which leaves an opening for Stringer Bell and Eisen Mike. Although I believe Sasa beat Eisen Mike head-to-head. Let me have a look at that. Yeah, Sasa has the tiebreaker with Eisen Mike. And Stringer Bell and Eisen Mike are playing each other this week. So this the second and third place teams are playing each other. If Sasa had at least gotten a draw in his game this week, he would have guaranteed himself first place. He, however, did not. That might be the game of the week that we watch, actually, because that was a pretty big upset, in my opinion. So I kind of want to watch that game. So that's my front runner right now for games of the week. This will also be a huge game between Stringer Bell and Eisen Mike. If Eisen Mike wins, he'll guarantee himself a spot in Emperors next season. The U.S. is a little different. It's not just the top 2. For the U.S. coaches, the top 3 teams in each division automatically make it. So I guess pretty much all of them, although the Norse squad here, Pieces of Mind, still has a shot to get in there, I think. No, they've finished their schedule. So they are not going to be top 3, but it's the top 3 from each division and the best 4th place record are all going to qualify for U.S. Emperors. So still got a shot. I'm in this division down here, 3-1-5. I came on late in the season, got a win in my last 2 weeks. To be fair, the week 8 was a concede. So let's have a look at those top 3 teams. We've got Sasa's team, who's back down to 1080 TV, so I wonder if he got roughed up a bit. Yeah, he's missing. I thought he had all of his sources back, so it's possible he lost some more sources. He's got block tackle, block. He's got 1 MMG. He does have a block skink. He has a diving tackle skink, 3 side steps. His replacement Crocs is not leveled up yet. Eisen Mike's squad will be playing. Hey, Niamto. We've got a tackle blitzer, mighty blow blitzer, agility up blitzer, a blodge guard blitzer who will be missing this game. Who'll be missing this game against Stringer Bell. He's got block on one of his black orcs, the rest are unskilled. He's got a block thrower. And then let's have a look at Stringer Bell's team, who's finally starting to get developed after having to replace a lot of players early on in the season. Mighty Blow tackle on a movement busted white. Blodge step ghoul, block flesh golem, block flesh golem. Werewolves still haven't gotten developed yet, but he had to replace them. I think he didn't even get the second one till around week 5 because the first two both died. So hopefully he gets some more development on them soon. But if he wins this week, he wins the division, thanks to that upset against Sasa's Lizards. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this division to look at as far as possible playoff qualifiers. Moving on to Group B. Leaderboard, we've got Fiction out in front at 18 points, although Sakari's also at 18 points, but Fiction has the tiebreaker there. Neither has played their Week 9 match. Lazy Lifeguard played his... No, he has also not played his Week 9 match. So if he gets a win in that last game, who is he playing this week? God, the U.S. divisions are still pretty up in the air. Well, the first two. Group C is pretty locked as far as the division winner. Where is he at? There it is. Against the End Zone Edifiers, which is Piece of the Versus Undead. So not a terribly difficult matchup for the Vampires this week. So if the Vampires win, they'll move to 6-2-0 and have 20 points. If the Skaven or the Kislev win, they'll stay ahead of them. But if either of them draws, that record would pass them. So this division's still very much up in the air. Let's have a look at the teams. Sakari's Skaven. Does he still have Teemo? Does still have Teemo, although if I remember correctly, Teemo got niggled in the last game. He did. Teemo is niggled. I tend to just hang on to nickled gutter runners. I actually tend to, if my gutter runners develop nicely, and this is coming from a fairly experienced Skaven coach, I tend to just let them die of natural causes, as long as they're still productive. And this is certainly still a productive player. And he's not that much bloat. I mean, he's expensive, but gutter runners with a few skills and nice level ups are still not that expensive. So I would keep him until he dies. I've kept double movement busted gutter runners before because they were really good ball hawks. So I tend to just let them die of natural causes a lot of times. Although that's in a ladder format where you're getting matched based on TV. So it's not as viable, but in league play especially, I wouldn't be firing Teemo with that niggle. You've got a Wrestle Gutter, 2 Blodge Gutters, Kick Lineman, High Shattered by the way, and you've got a Guard Rat Ogre. I talked about this last time, I don't like Guard first level up on a Rat Ogre. I don't think they're functional enough at moving where you want them to really have Guard pay that much dividends. I know they're one of your few strength access, but I would much rather have Juggernaut or something on them. Then we have Fiction, his Keslev, whose team's starting to look really nice. He's got a niggled Agility 5 thrower, or catcher, I mean. He's got Dodge Guard on another catcher. Guard catchers on Kislev are just a godsend, because you've got a 2+ leap into a cage to add the assist onto the ball, and then you can leap in, and he's got this Agility 4 lineman with Wrestle that he can leap in, or you can leap in with a Blitzer. I mean, you've got a lot of options there, but being able to leap a guard in on a 2+ to hit the ball is amazing. So his team's developing very nicely. Looks like he's down 1 player. I'm still not sure why he hasn't fired this Agility 2 lineman, because honestly, I'd rather have a loner lineman than that guy. Because one of the few unique thing about Kislev is being able to leap wherever they need to, and Agility 2 means you can't really do that anymore. Yeah, Fiction's Kislev are quite good. Who is he playing in his last match this week? He's playing against Halflings, and he's playing against a Halfling team that's not having as good of a season. So I would imagine he'll win that match. Oh, is he down a tree? Oh no! What happened to his tree? Bushranger's down a tree. Yeah, I think the Kislev are going to take that game, which means that they're going to win the division. So as long as he doesn't trip and fall, or leap and fall, pun intended, he should easily win that match, and when he does, he'll lock down the division. So I would think Kislev's going to win this division, or Fiction's Kislev's going to win this division. Very, very nicely developed Kislev squad. And if anybody's put a shit ton of time and effort into getting good at Kislev, it is certainly Fiction. He's been maining them for the last 2 Champ Ladder seasons. So, all right, that is Group B. Let's have a look at Group C. Now, Group C is the least dramatic of all the divisions. Shattered sort of run away with it. He was my preseason pick, did me proud. The only undefeated, undrawn team in the league. At 8-0-0, he's guaranteed to win the division at this point. He is playing against the Prolariat Hunters this week, which is the last place Kislev squad. So I would imagine he will pull that one out to finish the season perfect and head into the playoffs that way. But as I said, the best, the 2, why am I not able to read? Playoffs, oh, there we go. It's the top second place team. That could potentially come from this division. You've got 19 points here on this Chaos Dwarf squad, and they still have a game to play. It's entirely possible that he's the other playoffs qualifier, so let's have a look at those 2 teams. Shattered's Pro Elves, almost up to 1500 TV. 2-man bench, I like that. Hard to do on Elves, actually manage to get a bench developed, because they tend to implode a lot. This is just dirty. He's got 2 guards and a Mighty Blow on this team. Amazing development on the blitzers. Nice catcher there with Blodge. Block on his thrower. I mean, this team's just really, really nicely developing. It's not surprising that he's doing pretty well. He's got some pretty bashy elves here with the 2 guards and the Mighty Blow and 2 tackles on both blitzers. Shattered, since you're here, are you thinking diving tackle on these guys next? Are you looking at actually getting piling on one of them? The Mighty Blow one in particular? Because being elves, you've got that easy agility access. You can easily go piling on jump up and then have just an amazing killer there. And then let's have a look at this Chaos Dwarf squad. That could also make the playoffs if they win this last week. We've got 3 guard dwarfs, a Mighty Blow dwarf. You got a block bull, a dodge bull, sure hands dodge hobgoblin, dirty player, and a block hobgoblin. So pretty standard development, nothing crazy. Getting dodge on the bull centaur is decent. You need to get block on him and then probably break tackle. You've got a decent little bull there. Nothing too crazy with that squad. I think this is the division. We do have a new... Yeah, Rich's T joined the league with his high elves. Since we've never shown his team, let's show his team. Dauntless for Mighty Blow, diving tackle, jump up for the tackle. Fair enough. You've got sure hands on the thrower, wrestle on the lineman. He has played 2 games so far. He's got a draw and a loss. Not surprising you'd have kind of a rough go coming in late in the season, being TV 1000 against developed teams. You gotta imagine that lineman's gonna get fired. Alright, and then let's talk about, so that was the division winners, playoff contenders. Let's look at the stunty teams. Now, I'm going to qualify for the stunty playoffs. In fairness, there's not a lot of competition in the US. We had a goblin and maybe 2 goblins and 2 halflings originally. I believe we are down to just a goblin and 2 halfling, or there were 3 halflings originally. Tilly dropped, so my goblins won 2 of their last 3 games to finish at 3-1-5. We beat the Underworld squad this week to get our 3rd win, and I'll go back. I didn't actually show these stunty teams that are going to qualify from Europe, so we'll have a look at their teams before we move on to the game of the week. But if we look, I rolled a really nice level up just in time for the stunty playoffs. I have an agility 4 goblin. Woo! So I've got a break tackle, block, troll, a couple of sidestep goblins, and an agility up goblin to go into the stunty playoffs with. I still have my full bench. Might buy an apothecary. before that match, but I'm going to wait and see how much TV I'm giving up to the Halfling squad that we will be playing. I am the only stunty team in Group A, and I'm at 10 points for the season. If we look at Group B, I believe this is where both the other stunty teams are. You've got Pig Sofa's Halflings, who are at 9 points right now, still with a game to play. And you've got Bush Rangers Halflings, who are pretty roughed up. They're the ones that are missing a tree. Not just Imageed, like the tree's gone. So let's have a look at Pig Sofa's. He will be the other qualified for the stunty playoffs. He also has an Agility 4 stunty in his Halfling, who then took Pro afterwards. He also has a Block Big Man in his tree. He has a Break Tackle Movement Up tree and a Sidestep Halfling. He does not have the deep bench that I have, so I will hopefully just murder all of his Halflings and then win that way. He's at 980 TV, so I'll be giving up a little bit of TV to him as of right now, but not a ton. So that should be a fun game. A little Goblin versus Halfling action. We'll look at Group C to be sure, but I don't actually believe there are any stunties left in Group C, but maybe I missed one. Yeah, there are no stunties in Group C. So the US stunty playoffs will be myself on Goblins versus Pig Sofa and his Halflings. We talked about the European stunties, but let's have a look at the teams that we're going to be qualifying. It is not from that division. I don't remember which divisions they were in. Not from that division. So it's C and D, I think. It's Itchin's Goblins and Ceremal's Ogres. There's Itchin's Goblins. Let's have a look at his squad. 1220. Pretty high TV on a Goblin squad. Let's see. He's got a Guard Fanatic. Not a huge fan of Guard on Fanatic. I would much rather see Grab there. Guard is fine, though. Those are really... actually, that's probably at best the third skill I'm picking up on a Fanatic. I value Mighty Blow and Grab both more highly than Guard there. He's got Guard on both of his Trolls. Again, your Trolls are your heavy hitters, and they're your playmakers. I like playmaking skills, Break Tackle, even Strong Arm. I tend to like more highly than Guard, because who are they guarding for? Each other, I guess, and that's about it. It does potentially let you get more 1 and 2 dies with your Goblins, perhaps, but not a huge fan of that. And then he went Grab on one of them. Grab is really nice in general on Goblins because it helps you set up good fouls. He's got Sidestep on 2 regular Goblins. He's got a Sure Hands Goblin, that's nice. But then you've got this Pogoer that doesn't really have a role once you have a Sure Hands Goblin. I mean, he's fast, but you can't throw him, so he's not a one-turn threat, and you don't really want to use him as the ball carrier because you've got a Sure Hands Goblin. He's got a Diving Tackle. So, reasonable development on a Goblin squad. Surprised his TV's that high. But I guess he's got a lot more level ups than I do, and he's got the Pogoer, who's expensive as shit. Then let's have a look at Ceremal's Ogres. They're in Group D. They are going to be your other stunty playoff squad. Where are we at here? There we are. 1510 TV. Oh my. Agility up Ogre with block. That's really handy. Block Ogre, Guard Ogre, Break Tackle Guard Ogre, Dirty Player Snotling. Yeah, he's a handoff threat, I guess. That's true. For 90k, that's how much that Pogoer costs with Sidestep, is 90k. He's more than 2 Goblins worth of TV. I don't know. I never take a Pogoer. I don't think they're good value. And you need to have good value on your Goblins. Deepish bench, he's going to have 14 players altogether. That's a really good Ogre squad. That's going to be tough for the Goblins to deal with. Yeah, those are some really nice Ogres. So you got an Agility 3 block 1 and another block 1. That is a solid squad from Cerebral. So that's going to be my pick to win the European stunty. I'm obviously going to pick myself. I'm a little biased to win the US stunty. Alright, so that is our State of the League for this week. Looking at the playoffs, both regular and stunty playoffs. looking a little bit at who's possibly going to make Emperor, Lords, and Knights next season. If you can find the full breakdown of it in the forums under the Twitch Blood Bowl League rules, I'll actually link that in the chat right now. Let me get to the right page. If you would like to overlook the rules for playoffs and who's going to qualify, who's going to make Emperors, Lords, and Knights next season, all that information can be found in that forum post. Thank you, Ceremal, for posting that. I believe it's Ceremal. Way back when. Now, the game of the week. Oh, one other thing I want to pitch, and I'm going to link this as well. We are planning on starting a mixed team league/tournament. I think initially it's going to be a tournament that may turn into a league. If you are interested in playing around with the mixed teams, I personally have been racking my brain trying to decide what mixed team I would play and what their positional makeup would be. But if this is something that interests you, we are going to be running a mixed team league. It's going to be starting soon. I believe the planned start date was the 24th, which maybe that was his deadline because that's actually a Friday. But I think that's the date that Ceremal threw out. But if you are interested in signing up for that and participating, I will post the link for that. You can go there. You can sign up for the mixed teams tournament. Thank you for tuning in to our final regular season week of the State of the League address. I hope you enjoyed us going through all the divisions, looking at the possible playoff teams that are going to make it into Emperors next year. If you'd like to see more of this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button. You can also find me on my channel at twitch.tv/jumpy_Jim. You also can follow the Twitch Blood Bowl League's Twitch channel at twitch.tv/twitchbbl. Thank you for watching.